Admiral Zexthon gazed through the crystalline viewport of the hegemony's flagship, watching the small blue world rotate lazily in the void. Earth, the third planet from an unremarkable yellow star in a backwater spiral arm of the galaxy. For cycles, the Galactic Council had debated what to do about the humans, a species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel, yet somehow kept interfering with established trade routes and diplomatic protocols. Status report, Zexthon commanded, his forearms manipulating the holographic displays with practiced efficiency. 732 vessels in formation, Admiral, his tactical officer responded. The entire Third Hegemony battle fleet. Surely the humans will see reason when faced with such overwhelming force. The Admiral's mandibles clicked in what passed for amusement among his kind. The hegemony had conquered 17 star systems with half this force. Humanity would capitulate within hours of seeing their armada, just as every other species had done for the past 3 centuries. Then they could finally bring these chaotic primates into the fold of civilized society. Incoming transmission from Earth, the communications officer announced. Put it through, Zexthon said, straightening to his full 3-meter height. He expected to see a delegation of trembling human leaders, ready to negotiate their surrender. Instead, a single human face appeared on the screen. The creature looked young by human standards, with short brown hair and startlingly green eyes that held no trace of fear. Behind him, what appeared to be a small vessel's bridge was visible, cramped, inefficient, and laughably primitive compared to hegemony technology. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Defiance, the human said calmly. You're in violation of Earth's territorial space. You have 1 hour to withdraw your fleet, or we'll consider this an act of war. A stunned silence fell over the bridge. Several officers' translator units malfunctioned, unable to process what they'd just heard. One human vessel? Zexthon's voice cracked with disbelief. Against our entire fleet? The human's expression didn't change. 1 hour, Admiral. I suggest you don't waste it. The transmission ended. For several moments, nobody spoke. Then nervous chittering and clicking filled the bridge as officers struggled to comprehend what had just occurred. Admiral, the tactical officer ventured, their ship registers as a light cruiser, mass approximately 2,000 tons. Our dreadnought alone outmasses it 500 to 1. Perhaps it's a cultural miscommunication, the diplomatic attaché suggested. Some species have ritualistic posturing before negotiations. Incoming projectile, the sensor operator screamed. Mass driver round traveling at, by the void, 0.87 light speed. The hegemony shields, designed to stop energy weapons and conventional missiles, might as well have been tissue paper. The kinetic projectile punched through the rightmost wing of the formation, vaporizing 3 destroyers and crippling 2 more in a cascade of debris and superheated plasma. Evasive maneuvers, Zexthon roared. But before the massive dreadnoughts could even begin to turn their ponderous bulk, 6 more projectiles streaked across the void. Each round was a simple tungsten rod, accelerated to relativistic speeds by magnetic coils that pushed the very limits of human engineering. No exotic matter, no quantum field manipulators, just Newton's laws applied with terrifying precision. The second salvo killed 18 ships. Return fire. All batteries, Zexthon commanded. Thousands of energy beams lanced out toward the human vessel, enough firepower to glass a continent. But the Defiance wasn't where their targeting computers said it should be. Captain Chen had killed her engines immediately after firing, letting momentum carry her ship on a ballistic trajectory while she prepared her next attack. The hegemony's predictive algorithms, calibrated for civilized warfare between ships that followed established engagement protocols, couldn't compensate for such reckless tactics. She's using her ship as a kinetic weapon, the tactical officer reported, his voice filled with horror. The humans aren't trying to preserve their vessel, they're planning to ram us. Admiral Zexthon watched in fascination as the small human ship adjusted course, diving straight toward the heart of his formation. This wasn't how space combat was supposed to work. Ships were valuable. Crews were trained for decades. Battles were fought at safe distances with minimal losses. But the humans seemed to operate under entirely different assumptions. The Defiance fired again, this time launching a spread of smaller projectiles, chunks of asteroid ice loaded with antimatter charges. They detonated throughout the hegemony formation like brilliant stars. the explosions visible even through the filtered viewports. Damage report, Zexthon whispered. 237 ships destroyed or disabled, sir. That single human vessel has eliminated 1/3 of our fleet. On the main screen, Captain Chen's face reappeared. Her ship's bridge showed signs of damage now, sparking consoles, emergency lighting, atmosphere venting from hull breaches. But her green eyes still burned with determination. 42 minutes remaining, Admiral, she said simply. I have enough ammunition for 3 more salvos. Do you really want to find out what happens when humans stop playing nice? Zexthon stared at the tactical display. The human ship was crippled, probably dying, but it had already proven that conventional military doctrine meant nothing against an enemy willing to break every rule of civilized warfare. His remaining ships were in disarray, their crews demoralized by an utterly unprecedented form of combat. He thought about the reports from other sectors. Human traders who fought off pirate fleets with cargo haulers, human colonies that held entire invasion forces at bay with improvised weapons, human diplomats who somehow turned trade negotiations into military alliances. The pattern was always the same. Humans didn't fight the way they were supposed to. Signal the fleet, Admiral Zexthon said quietly. All ships withdraw to the edge of the system. Sir? His tactical officer asked. The humans aren't like us, the Admiral explained, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully. We conquer through overwhelming force applied efficiently. They conquer through sheer bloody-minded refusal to accept defeat. That single ship just taught us something very important about warfare. What's that, sir? Zexthon watched the crippled human vessel limping back toward Earth, trailing atmosphere and debris but still broadcasting defiance to any ship that dared approach their world. Sometimes, he said, one human vessel really is all it takes. The hegemony fleet withdrew, leaving Earth's skies clear. In the council chambers, the debate about humanity would continue for many cycles to come. But Admiral Zexthon had already made up his mind. Any species crazy enough to turn a single ship into a system killer was probably better as an ally than an enemy. Captain Sarah Chen guided her dying ship home, knowing that humanity's reputation in the galaxy had just changed forever. They had waited for a fleet, but one human vessel had been enough to send a message that would echo across the stars. Humans don't just fight to win. They fight to make sure their enemies remember why they should have stayed home.